proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, pilot Jack Woolen in Skycam 16, chief meteorologist Tom Clark, and Joe Zone on sports. This is Newswatch 16.
State police say that a Nanticoke truck driver may have saved his own life and others this morning.
He was behind the wheel of a runaway truck on Route 115 in Luzerne County. Newswatch 16's Bob Reynolds is live now in Bear Creek Township. Bob, what happened there?
Well, Karen, I'm at the top of the mountain on Route 115, and below me is a twisting 4-mile hill, which ends up in a densely populated area of Wilkes-Barre. When trucker Steve Schock of Nanticoke lost control of his rig, he kept his cool and steered into a runaway truck ramp. Schock was only slightly injured, and some say he was lucky.
He could have hit a home, an embankment, further damaged the vehicle, or injured somebody seriously.
He'd have gone probably another 100 to 200 yards down. He'd have hit another incline. He'd have continued to pick up speed.
State police say trucks over 21,000 pounds are not supposed to use this section of Route 115. Schock's rig was just under the legal limit, and he won't be fined for traveling down the hill. State police say while they were investigating this accident, they caught several other truckers coming down the mountain, and those trucks were heavily overloaded.
10.5-ton limit. I thought I was loud enough, you know, but guess I'm not.
Overweight trucks on Route 115 have killed people and have injured many more. For example, in 1983, this was all that was left when an overweight truck slammed into several cars. And just a few hours ago, Newswatch 16 photographer Tom Hovey took these pictures of an overweight truck going down the 4-mile hill. Fortunately, this rig made it safely to the bottom. Now, as that piece was running, another truck just passed us, apparently another overweight truck going down Route 115. State police say they don't believe the abuse is widespread. One thing we want to point out, here comes another truck right now, but really looks are deceiving because that particular truck, although it looks big, is probably below the weight limit. As I began to say, state police say they don't believe the abuse is widespread, but they will continue to ticket overweight trucks, but won't change the amount of their patrols here. Bob Reynolds, Newswatch 16 with a live Instacam report in Bear Creek.
A big traffic headache in Scranton is finally over tonight. The 1500 block of North Main Avenue had been closed for more than 3 weeks because of a huge hole in the road. Well, today work crews finished filling it in and repaved the roadway. By this afternoon, traffic was moving through North Main Avenue again. It took longer to fill in the Scranton mine subsidence than what officials first thought. A few blocks away, there may be another problem left over from the coal mines. There's a dip in the ground here in the 600 block of Theodore Street, and some neighbors think there's an old mine shaft under there. The problem is the city of Scranton wants to turn this area into a baseball field.
We want to get it fixed because they're going to start building a Teen League playground here, so they want to make sure that everything is all right.
Federal mining officials may drill boreholes here to find out if there is a mine shaft beneath this area off Theodore Street. Next, Newswatch 16's Dan Fiorucci with Part 3 of Home Sweet Hazard.
Tonight, why some say radon gas is more dangerous than 3 Mile Island. We'll be right back.
Going back to school has never been so much fun as it is right now because Keepers has the largest selection of jeans at the lowest prices anywhere. Boys Wranglers, $10.95. Men's, $14.95. Boys Lee Jeans, $11.95. Boys Pre-Wash Levi's, only $15.95. And are you ready to jam? Jams are on sale right now, only $21.95. Ladies, don't forget, the Jean Junction has all your favorite designer jeans at back-to-school prices. Look good and save money at Keepers Army Navy and Keepers Jean Junction.
It's summertime saving time, summertime saving time.
It's summertime saving time at your Mazda dealers, and we're dealing on everything. On GLC, 626s, even RX-7s. And during our factory-supported truck clearance sale, you can save hundreds on an 86 Mazda B2000. So come by now and save.
Mazda summertime saving time.
Get a lot of value at your local Mazda dealer today.
Yuengling was brewing premium beer back in 1956, in 1919, in 1860, and all the way back to 1829. 5 generations of the Yuengling family have been helping America quench her thirst for over a century and a half. What a tradition. What a great beer. Yuengling, America's oldest is still America's best. And that's a promise from Dick Yingling himself.
Diseases of the blood on Call the Doctor Sunday.
All this week, we've been telling you about the dangers of radioactive radon gas.
It could be in your home, and it could be giving you lung cancer. Newswatch 16's Dan Fiorucci is here with us now with part 3 of his series, Home Sweet Hazard.
Dan, I understand that radon gas and radioactivity are fairly common things to be exposed to.
Nolan, exposure to radon gas is the biggest single source of radiation to the public, period. Scientists say 1/3 of all the radiation you'll receive in your lifetime will come from household radon. That's more radiation than you'll get from medical X-rays, from spaceborne cosmic and gamma rays, or from natural radioactive atoms that work their way into your body. Because exposure to radioactive radon is so common, we decided to study the problem in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. There'll be a page-and-a-half questionnaire enclosed with the detectors. No comprehensive radon survey has been conducted throughout northeastern and central Pennsylvania. DER wants to conduct studies, but the plans aren't even off the drawing board yet. And so Newswatch 16 performed a limited study of its own last winter. We distributed 100 radon detectors to 50 homes throughout our viewing area. We did it in cooperation with the U.S. Department of Energy. This is the U.S. Department of Energy's Environmental Measurements Laboratory in New York. I'm standing in the radon calibration facility. This is the place where every type of radon detector used in North America has been tested for accuracy. Think of it as a sort of National Bureau of Standards for radon detectors.
And this is the activator carton, which is the device that was developed in this laboratory.
Physicist Andy George explained that special charcoal canisters designed to capture radioactive particles would be used in our test.
And the exposure period is 4 days, and it works very well for us.
The detectors were mailed to individual homeowners and were placed in their houses, one in the basement, one in the living area, for 4 days. They were then mailed back to the Department of Energy for analysis.
Basically, what we do, we receive a canister like this. We put it in this detector in here, and we analyze it, and the data usually looks something like this.
The Department of Energy must do several more tests to average out seasonal differences, but analysis of our March results shows that 45% of the homes we tested in northeastern and central Pennsylvania had radon levels in the basement or living area that are unacceptable by state standards. One home had a radon reading of 68 picocuries per liter of air, the equivalent lung cancer risk of smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day for every day of continuous exposure.
On a straight arithmetic progression, 15% increased risk of lung cancer over a lifetime of exposure.
The normal lung cancer risk for non-smokers is just 1%. Now, the 68 picocurie house was the only one that came in that high, and the Department of Energy advised the homeowner to fix the problem immediately. But even though no other house came in so high, 45% of the homes in our survey did show unacceptable radon levels by state standards. Now, if that percentage holds true for all the homes in northeastern and central Pennsylvania, then thousands of us could be at increased risk of developing lung cancer. And ours is not the only survey to find elevated radon levels in homes outside the Reading Prong.
We've examined 2 sets of data.
Dr. Harvey Sachs analyzed the Pennsylvania Power and Light Radon Survey in 1981 and a follow-up survey by Princeton University in 1982. He found that 40% of the houses checked had radon levels above what are now the state standards.
Both of these studies have been published. Together, they represent about 70 to 75 houses in eastern Pennsylvania. Not enough houses, but enough houses to indicate that there is potentially a problem in Pennsylvania.
In early 1983, Dr. Sachs wrote this letter to DER comparing radon to the nuclear accident at 3 Mile Island. He said, quote, "You've dedicated an enormous amount of effort to the 3 Mile Island accident. The best available analyses now indicate that the maximum number of cancer deaths which will have been caused by this incident is 1. By contrast, the data which we have provided to you on household radon indicates that the Harrisburg area alone is likely to suffer in the range of 50 to several hundred lung cancer victims a year as houses become more insulated." And their reaction to your data?
They never got back to me.
Did that surprise you?
It surprised me a great deal.
I can't justify why or why not there wasn't national research done, Pennsylvania research done, New Jersey research done. All I can tell you is we're addressing what is a concern at this point.
Indeed, DER is studying the radon problem now, but the question remains, why the delay? One answer, 3 words, 3 Mile Island. The very issue Dr. Sachs referred to in his letter to the agency years ago. DER says the 1979 accident at the nuclear power plant tied up its manpower and its money and forced the cancellation of an informal radon detection program that was supposed to have started in the spring of '79. So by attending to one potential health threat, all attention was diverted from another, more serious one.
That's a fair characterization.
The problem at TMI was the potential problem. What might have happened had it melted completely. The problem in people's houses is a real problem today.
Now, if you have radon in your home, you can correct the problem, and we'll tell you more about that later in the week. But you can't correct it until you know you've got it in your home. WNEP-TV is joining with the Northeastern Pennsylvania Environmental College and Council and Wilkes College to place radon detectors in the home of anyone who wants one. It'll cost $28, about half of what you'd pay on your own. For free information, write NEPEC, Box 3113, Scranton, Pennsylvania, 18505. Nolan and Karen, tomorrow we'll take a look at the link between radon and lung cancer.
Okay, Dan.
We're learning a lot this week. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Tom, hazy, hot, and humid, Clark.
I understand you're going to have some hot weather tips for us, Tom.
I sure am. Coming up from the backyard, and I'll tell you what to expect as we head into the coming weekend.
Pennsylvania Double. It's the new Pennsylvania Lottery instant game. The game where prizes can double. But you don't have to lead a double life to play. Each ticket gives you the chance to win up to $100,000 instantly. Grand prize is $1,000 a week for life. $1 million guaranteed. So play the new $1 instant game, Pennsylvania Double. It could happen to you.
2 more tickets for Pennsylvania Double.
Sure thing, Brad. Coming right up.
Let's go window shopping at the Pella Window Store.
A lot of people sell replacement windows and doors, but Pella invented improvement windows and improvement doors. We invented the easiest windows to wash, a screen door that closes like that. And style?
Pella, 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 Pella.
So what would you rather have, a replacement or an improvement?
For improvement, windows and doors. Go window shopping at the Pella Window Store.
In Dunmore, Scott Run, Lewisburg, Wilkes-Barre, look for Pella in the white pages.
Do I like cheese?
County Line asked an expert about old-fashioned cheese.
Back when me and my brothers was just about his size, Mom had packed us cheese sandwiches. Then, while they was off swimming, I'd eat all of them sandwiches.
Then he tasted County Line, the cheese that says the old ways are still the best ways to make old-fashioned taste so good.
Now, this County Line really takes me back some.
County Line, old-fashioned and proud of it.
We're Beatrice.
Everybody has clearances, but only Dodge has the knockout clearance with knockout deals on great Dodge cars and trucks. And now, added savings with 8/8 financing on the revolutionary Aries K, or $400 cash back direct from Dodge. Aries K, $400 back, or choose 8/8 financing that can bring your payments down to as little as $131 per month. And with $550 protection standard, the Dodge knockout clearance. Ford and Chevy, put the gloves on. Your Dodge dealer.
I don't know if we hit 90 today, but it sure felt like 100 at least.
Sure did. 105,
A lot of
Karen.
humidity. Wow.
You betcha. Very murky and muggy outside today. By far the hottest day so far this year. And this is one way to help keep cool on a day like today. Here are some other proven tips on how to keep your cool. Number 1, drink plenty of water. Prevents your body from becoming dehydrated that way, and you can stay cool by sweating more. Eat less helps. Dress light, of course. Cotton is the best fabric on a day like today. And most important, slow down. Simply just take it easy. Like that guy there. He's feeling the heat for sure. Earlier today, we found a few overheated bank thermometers like this one in Columbia County. And when it gets that hot, one wears as little as possible, especially if you have some heavy work to do. Like that guy there. Now there is the best way to keep cool on a hot August afternoon at the community pool in Berwick. Current temperature in my backyard now is 88 sticky degrees. The humidity is 65%, the wind is from the west at 12, and the barometer is now holding steady. The high today, 90. Karen, how about it? First time we've hit 90 this year. 94, however, the record, that still stands. Look at that low last night, only 72 here in Avoca. 44, the record low, 86 and 69. The record, the range 1 year ago today. Satellite view is coming up next. In the bottom center of your screen is Tropical Storm Danny, now 300 miles from the Texas coast and heading in that direction. Highest winds around the center of the storm now approaching 60 miles per hour. 94 up there in Binghamton, New York, broke a record today. Also a record in Baltimore at 100 this afternoon. Very hot along the east. This front here will not reach us until Friday, as I see it now. Here's your sunrise times for tomorrow morning at 6:13. We have a sunset now at 8:03 in the p.m. It'll stay warm tonight. There are a few scattered thunderstorms around now, a few up in Susquehanna County and a few over in Juniata County. You may see a few flickers of lightning out your window, maybe even a downpour later on. 71 the low. Thunderstorms will develop again tomorrow. Still very muggy, murky, and hazy out there. 86 for the high. That front will slowly push across the state on Friday. Showers around a good part of the day. 79. Looks kind of cloudy on Saturday. Could even rain for a portion of Saturday, and the sun should come out on Sunday. This will help cool you off. It was West Yellowstone, Montana this morning, 26 degrees.
Wonderful.
Let's go.
Okay, sure. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Coming up, Tim Carlson in for Joe Zone with some good news for race car driver Mario Andretti.
Plus, the first look at the Penn State Nittany Lions of 1985. The Sports Watch next.
Every family once had their own doctor, someone who knew everyone and may have delivered a few generations. And that care you got then is still important today. So you need a medical team whose primary concern is you and your family. At Health America, we give you that, and we cover your bills. We're a modern alternative to your health insurance that's the best of the old and the best of the new. Health America. We're making health care in America better.
Set your alarm so you can be at the Globe early tomorrow when the store-wide 14-hour sale starts at 8 a.m. Yes, from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. tomorrow only, you'll find just about everything from fall fashions and back-to-school values to terrific new ideas for your home. That's tomorrow only, from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. The Globe's one-day, store-wide, 14-hour sale. You don't want to miss it.
We love shopping at the Globe.
Sounds like football's in the sports news tonight, Tim.
Not a good day to practice.
No.
For the next several days, we'll be looking at the Penn State team and how they shape up for the coming season. One of the most important parts of that team this season has to be a potent running game to make the offense click. John Evans found out at Penn State Media Day yesterday the Lions are counting on one player to anchor that running attack.
The biggest key to the Penn State offense this year may be a healthy DJ Dozier. 2 years ago as a freshman, he gained over 1,000 yards rushing. Last year, a knee injury limited his time and forced him to miss 3 games completely. Off-season arthroscopic knee surgery forced him to miss spring practice, but now Dozier is confident he can regain his old form.
I'm fine. You know, we had the 40 test today, and I did fine, and I feel good, and so I don't think there's any problem with me.
I'm very optimistic he's 100%. He seems to be great. He's run hard. He's tested it. The doctors and everybody tells me he's in excellent shape.
This is the end zone of Beaver Stadium, and when DJ Dozier is healthy, he spends a lot of time here. But if he's not 100% healthy this year, Coach Joe Paterno says he won't spend any time in there. He'll spend most of it over here, on the Penn State sidelines instead.
I'm assuming he's 100%, but if that would not be the case, I'm not going to take any chances with it. He's got too great a future for us to push around with him.
Without Dozier last year, the running game was adequate. They won the 3 games that he missed. But with him in 1985, it could be outstanding. John Evans, Sports Watch 16, State College.
Tonight on the Sports Watch Update, we'll talk with head coach Joe Paterno about his 20th season as top man with the Lions. Well, today was the day race driver Mario Andretti was to find out from his doctor in Indianapolis whether or not he'd be able to drive in this Sunday's Pocono 500. Andretti was injured a couple of weeks ago in the Michigan 500 and told Sports Watch 16's Jay Christopher in an exclusive interview yesterday he was hopeful his doctor would give him the green light today. Well, Andretti flew to Indy today to get the word from his doctor, showing up at Methodist Hospital with a crutch and cane. But it looks as if he'll be sitting behind the wheel at Pocono on Sunday. His doctor said he'd go for it.
In fact, I feel somewhat relieved myself because x-rays of the clavicle look good and nothing moved. And I think it feels fine. And the hip looks like it's mending quite nicely. You can hardly see the crack. And I'm keeping weight off of it so it heals just completely by the time I get to mid-Ohio, but I don't see any particular problem physically for me to drive at all.
So will you be driving at Pocono this weekend?
You bet. I can't hardly wait to get there.
And, of course, we'll be there to see how he does on it.
All right.
Terrific. Thanks, Tim.
Still ahead, what better way to start a carnival than with a parade?
We'll tell you what all the commotion is about as Newswatch 16 continues.
Amazing Jacob Kurlanchik's awarding some lucky local person $2,000 worth of furniture. The Broyhill Super Summer Sweepstakes.
Hello, I am Paul Broyhill, chairman of Broyhill Furniture. I'd like to invite you to visit our newest Broyhill Showcase Gallery at Jacob Kurlanchik's.
Up to 50% off Jacob Kurlanchik's 35-room Broyhill Showcase Gallery in the entire store. And some lucky local person will win the $2,000 worth of Broyhill Furniture. Jacob Kurlanchik's, Main Highway, Dallas, Main Street, Duryea.
Sun comes from different places. It's a beautiful morning to a wonderful day. Things to see, things to do, places to be. There's lots for you. Hershey Park Cafe, Hershey Park Bread. So many things to see and do. Good times to be had. So many things to see and do, yeah. Hershey Park.
Finally tonight, it's carnival time in Clark Summit.
In fact, it's the 28th year for the Summer Carnival at the Clark Summit State Hospital. The fun kicked off at noon today with a parade, but that's not all. Patients, staff, and people from the community are being treated to food, games, a concert, fireworks, and an aerial show with skydivers. The celebration at the Clark Summit State Hospital continues into the evening. This just in, meteorologist Tom Clark tells us now that tropical storm Danny is now a full-fledged hurricane. More on the update.
That is Newswatch 16 for now. Enjoy your evening.
Good night.